I've been working on a sermon here. The title of it's going to be Why Most Marriages Succeed. And of course they do. For every one divorce that makes the headlines, there are literally thousands of couples who stay happily married. And sometimes I wish they were the ones who made some of the headlines. It would give us a far more accurate picture of American life. Even so, there are too many divorces. From some standpoints, it's a national tragedy when even one home breaks up. But what I'm concerned about is not the number of dramatic breakups that make the headlines and the gossip columns. It's the number of fine couples whose marriage sort of goes to pieces before they ever realize that anything's wrong. One of the objects of this sermon is going to be to point out some of the little things that make a marriage succeed. By the same token, it's often the little things that make a marriage break up. Many a home could be saved if only the persons involved could realize in time that their marriage is being slowly undermined. Take the Scotts, for example. The Scotts are a young couple in our church. I'm afraid they're typical of too many younger people in America today. He has a good job. A salesman with an insurance company, has a wonderful record with them. Wrote over $1 million in policies last year and won some kind of an award. As for her, she's talented, active in a number of organizations and clubs. They have a lovely home out in a new section of the city. The best part of their home, though, I think, is the two little girls, Julie and Martha Sue. It was from these two girls that I first learned of any trouble in the Scotts' home. It was a Sunday morning, actually during the Sunday school hour. I was here in the study, getting ready for the morning service. Why, Julie, Martha Sue, how nice. Did you want to see me?
Yes, please, Dr. Goodrich.
Well, come right in.
Thank you.
I'm a little bit surprised to see you girls, though, at this hour. Shouldn't you be in Sunday school?
That's where we're going, but we wanted to see you first.
What about Julie?
Well, it's about Daddy and Mother.
Why, is something wrong?
Uh-huh.
Can you tell me about it?
Everything seems so different now. Oh, Dr. Goodrich, nothing is like it used to be. Mother and Daddy are mad at each other, and they don't come to Sunday school with us anymore. And they don't hear our prayer at night. And we think maybe they don't love us anymore.
Oh, of course they love you. Don't you worry about that.
Sissy Evans' Mommy and Daddy don't love her, and she doesn't have a home anymore.
That's too bad, but it makes you realize how nice it is to have a home and parents who really love you, doesn't it?
I guess so. We ask God every night to make things like they used to be, Dr. Goodrich. And we thought maybe you'd ask him, too.
Of course I'll ask him, Julie. I certainly will. I think that Julie and Martha Sue are the only two children that ever called on for help in their home like that. I wish that meant that these are the only two children I know who are unhappy and insecure. You know, many a problem child, so-called, would cease to be a problem if things could be straightened out at home. But back to the Scotts. I thought a great deal about how I could approach them with the information that I had. I felt I could count on one thing, their love for those two little girls. So I finally decided that the best approach would be a direct approach. Simply to tell them about the visit I'd had from Julie and Martha Sue. So one evening that week, shortly after dinner, I called on the Scotts.
I have a feeling, Dr. Goodrich, that you didn't come over this evening just for the visit. Is there something special?
Yes, there is, Mr. Scott. Julie and Martha Sue came in to see me last Sunday morning.
Oh, they did, at church?
Yes. I thought maybe you would like to know what's bothering them.
Bothering them? Well, I didn't know anything was bothering them. Did you, Helen?
Why, no. They didn't say anything to me about it.
What did they want, Dr. Goodrich?
They wanted me to pray with them.
Pray with them?
What did they want you to pray about?
That things here at home would be like they used to be.
I don't understand. I didn't know anything was wrong or different, particularly. Helen, do You know what this is all about?
No, I don't. Did they say what it was, Dr. Goodrich?
Yes, they said several things.
Like what, for instance?
Well, for one thing, they don't think things are quite right between you two.
Oh, the idea. Julie and Martha Sue talking like that to a stranger.
Stranger? Mr. Scott, your children and I are old friends. But now, I don't want to intrude on any personal affair.
We didn't know anything was wrong. What else did they say?
They seem to have the feeling that you two don't love them anymore. Even told me about a little child whose parents had deserted her.
Alvin, that's little Sissy Evans. How could they ever think such a thing?
Well, I don't get it, Dr. Goodrich. The kid isn't to say anything like that. They have a good home here, everything they need, everything they want. Well, haven't they?
I wouldn't know about that, Mr. Scott.
Did they say there was something else they wanted?
Yes, they did.
What?
They said that they would like for you to hear their prayers again. They've missed that.
Well, that's right. I guess we have sort of slipped up on that, but then you know how things are, Dr. Goodrich. It's hard to get everything in.
Well, I'm mighty fond of those two young ladies, and if there's anything at all that I can do to help, please let me know.
Thank you for coming by.
Sure thing. We appreciate it, Dr. Goodrich.
Not at all. Goodbye, Mr. Scott.
Goodbye, Dr. Goodrich. Well, of all the crazy things, I could brain those kids. You'd think we fight all the time, and that isn't true.
No, of course it isn't. But if the children feel there's something wrong...
But there isn't.
But if they think so, then it's real to them.
I don't know. I give up. Well, I've got to run over to the Millers.
What for, Al?
Meeting. I'm late now for a committee meeting over at the club.
Maybe you go to too many meetings. Maybe you don't spend enough time with Julie and Martha Sue.
Maybe so, Helen. But it does look like you could find enough time to listen to the children's prayers at night. That's in your department.
I'm as much to blame as you are. Look, Alvin, let's talk this out. This is a lot more important than a club meeting. This is our children.
All right, but I don't know what we're going to do about it.
I don't either, really.
Well, it beats me. We don't quarrel. We're a civilized people.
We don't manage to be together very much.
Well, that's true. Everyone's busy. But I can't put my finger on anything we're doing wrong.
It could be it's not a big thing. Just a lot of little things.
Maybe.
Maybe it's not what we do, but what we don't bother to do that's causing the trouble.
Like what, for instance?
Well, like taking time to be together. Spending more time with the children. Listening to their prayers. Going to church together.
Stop it, Helen. Dr. Goodrich didn't preach at me. I don't see why you should.
I'm not preaching at you. You asked me what was wrong, and I'm trying to tell you.
Who says anything's wrong?
Julie does. Martha Sue does.
All right, let's ask them.
Alvin, please stop shouting.
Who's shouting?
Mama! Children, what's the matter? Martha Sue, what is it?
I've got a tummy ache.
What did she have for supper, Helen?
Nothing that would hurt her. Are you sure it's your tummy?
She always gets a tummy ache when she's scared.
Why should she be scared?
What is it, Martha Sue?
Mommy, does Daddy love you?
You thought Daddy and I were quarreling.
Why, of course Daddy loves Mommy. We were talking and got a little excited, that's all. Sorry I woke you up.
Yes, Daddy and I are awfully sorry. Now, let's get you straightened out here so you can go back to sleep.
Sure, and then how about our prayers? Let's say them.
We've already said them, Daddy.
Yes, but we didn't hear you. Let's say them all together. What do you say?
Dear God, when I'm too tired to play and it is dark at night, thank you for the time of sleep till morning brings the light. You've thought of everything, dear God, Help me to think of you, for then I know I'll do the things you'd like for me to do. God bless Mommy and Daddy and everybody.
And dear Lord, help us to be good parents.
Amen.
Well, the Scotts have given some evidence that they came to themselves in time to wake up to the fact that a lot of little things were on their way toward becoming big things which could cause real trouble in their life. Little things are dangerous just because they are little and seem insignificant. A temper that's allowed to flare up too often, thoughtless words spoken in haste, a growing disregard of the family's right to a fair share not only of money but of time, a gradual decrease in words of appreciation and expressions of love toward each other, and dropping out of the daily or the weekly schedule some of the practices which keep religion alive in the family circle, such as prayer. Of such little things, big tragedies are made. Well, when the Scotts told me about what happened after my visit that night, I was so impressed by the prayer which Julie and Martha Sue had made that I asked them if I might have a copy of it. Then I had it printed on this little card so that I could give it to other parents and children. If you would like to have a copy of this card, a child's prayer, for a child in your home, or maybe you know of a family to whom you'd like to send one, I'd be glad to put one in the mail to you if you'll simply take a card or a letter and address it to me, the pastor, in care of this station. And then on the other side of the card, at the top of it, write the word Child's Prayer. And then print or write plainly your name, your address, your city and state. Be sure to write them plainly, your name, your address, your city and state, and at the top of the card, the words Child's Prayer. And address it to me, the pastor, in care of this station, and I'll put a copy of Child's Prayer in the mail to you. The best security that a person, a parent, or a child can have is a home united and made strong by its Christian faith. These words of Jesus are everlastingly true. If a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And also these words from the Bible, the house of the righteous shall stand.